Kevin Iro and Joe Lydon both unfit, so Jed Byrne and Ellery Hanley are the two centres. And Brian Case comes on the bench at number 15. On the Oldham side, Duncan Platt, brother of Andy, at fullback, and former Wigan favourite Mike Ford there at number 6. John Cogger, their recent acquisition from Runcorn, is at loose forward. At the start of this game, we can see referee John Holsworth laying down the law to both captains, and obviously the indication there to the changing rooms, so any foul play, I'm sure, will result in people being sent off the field. An indication of his authority was shown, of course, in that game, Widnes against St Helens, the semi-final. Andy Gregory to kick off. Good deep kick, testing Oldham straight away, trying to keep them pinned down in their own 22. Gary Hyde, the former Castleford centre on that left-hand side, got injured against Wigan in that cup game, and he's got some strapping round the knee there, and that's Ian Sherratt, the big number 8 for Oldham. Duncan Platt, the kicker for Oldham, finds Steve Hampson, but a good wall of Oldham defence there, led by the captain John Cogger. He looks, of course, came back after injury with that knee problem and seemed to be perfectly fit on Saturday. That Oldham shuffling defence, cutting out any room and scope for Tony Iro on the right wing. Now the chance to move it wide, but Shelford hits it up. So the last tackle, Edwards there at half-back. And Hampson, who's probably going to take over the role that Joe Lydon normally does. Joe unfortunately out today with that knee injury. This game, of course, quite a desperate game for Oldham. They are so close to that relegation zone. And there, a lost ball as Neil Clausen tried to find his supporting players, and Wigan have won possession. Gregory putting Gerard Byrne in space. He's got Dennis Betts with him. This could be a try for Dennis Betts. It is indeed a marvellous try for Dennis Betts. It came about from that lost possession, and the ball was moved wide between the two halfbacks. Andrew Gregory put a perfect pass for Gerard Byrne into the gap. Byrne drew the cover superbly. Dennis Betts, showing the pace of a second row forward, goes over 10 yards in from that left-hand corner. Only 3 minutes play gone as Duncan Platt sets the game in motion once more.
Get him it, Solver, come on!
The calls going out here is first Nicky Kiss and then Andy Gregory call the tune. And it's Andrew Gregory getting in at acting halfback. No way forward. Good support play there, and beautiful play from Steve Hampson, the fullback. The referee says that went forward, perhaps on a different angle than us, but certainly John Holdsworth having no hesitation. So the first scrimmage of the game, and Ian Bates, the Oldham scrum half, will feed the scrimmage. Oldham in possession then. They're on rather a scrappy scrum. And John Cogger, of course, who's one of the Australians who's come from Runcorn Highfield, revelling, I think, in the highest standard of rugby. Certainly an all-action player, and he's impressed coach Tony Barrow. But that's gone forward in the tackle, so lost possession. And a scrum down just outside the Wigan 22.
shouted out, that's when they're free kick or a penalty. Get into him.
It's a rather untidy mess at the scrimmage here. But that's in, and that's all right. No, it's not. John Holver says, I think that's feeding. There is the indication. A free kick then to Oldham. And with both front rows desperately trying to gain advantage over one another, the scrimmage have tended to become a little bit messy of late. Set move there as the big Ian Sherratt drives for that corner. But Oldham working the set move. 3 men out, but no way forward for Keith Newton. In fact, the strength of Ian Potter and Gerard Bird showing there. Good support play from Oldham, and Platt linking, and he's a big, strong fullback. Mike Ford in action for the first time, looking for players to offload. Newton in space. So Wigan having to defend desperately here. And certainly Sean Allen not able to go over from that Mike Ford pass. And Rain, who kicked very well indeed for Oldham in that cup game, trying the push through there, but well gathered by Wigan. So they've got time to recover. And here's one of their set moves as Andrew Goodway will probably drive away from acting halfback. But strong Oldham defence, restricting the yardage gain there from the loose forward. With Dennis Betts slipping through that first tackle. Andy Gregory putting pressure on, and that ball's gone back to Hanley. Ellery Hanley quickly in there. Well, certainly coach Tony Barrow will have his men keyed up for this game, and it's showing very much in their defence. Their work rate's obviously very high at the moment. And apart from that isolated break when Andrew Gregory put in that beautifully timed pass to Gerard Byrne, there's been little scope for Wigan to exploit it. But there's one from Ian Lucas, and a great ball out to Tony Iro. There's another cross kick, reminiscent of Saturday. Edwards is there again. Will he score? It's another try for Sean Edwards. Very reminiscent of last Saturday. It started with a fine break from Ian Lucas, showing tremendous pace for a number 8. He drove up that right-hand side. Beautiful distribution to Tony Iro on the right wing. And as the cover came across, a cross kick with Edwards indicating and shouting to Tony Iro. Andrew Gregory at a closer distance. Has he slotted that one over? Yes, he has. And judging from the reaction from the crowd, that only just crept over. But that puts Wigan in the lead by 10 points to 0. Steve Hampson collecting and looking for support, but not finding it, so adopting safety first. Well, that's a penalty to Wigan. The crowd not too happy about it, certainly the Oldham section. But the referee quite clear in his indication of what that was for. Adrian Shelford not being allowed to play the ball. So as Hampson finds touch on that right-hand side, Andrew Gregory's already given out the instructions. The move is on. It's Shelford 2 out, and the switch. Dean Bell comes in from that right wing, but a posse of Oldham tacklers there bring him down. Well, Ellery Hanley had such a fine game last Saturday, again showing his appetite and hunger for work there, switching that play and really driving in the tackle. Wigan then building up the pressure on the 22. Byrne unable to get away from Gary Hyde. So on the last tackle, Andy Gregory with the kick. That's a high diagonal kick. And well taken by Paul Lord. But Ellery Hanley getting back down in the tackle and making that second tackle. So he's perhaps carrying on where Joe Lydon left off with that work rate from acting halfback. So Andy Rain with that left foot. Beautiful precision kick there is Ruane, and certainly he'll be doing some kicks downtown. Well, from that scrum, it was Wigan who were not going down, according to referee John Holsworth. So another free kick to Oldham at the scrimmage. And whereas Wigan have finished off 2 moves, Oldham have finished off nothing so far. But here's a chance for them again. They're just 10 metres out from the Wigan line. Good tackling there from Ian Lucas and Ian Potter. Here's the set move, close to the play of the ball. And again, obstruction. And referee John Holdsworth indicating crossing there, but obstruction by the player not receiving the ball, acting as a barrier between the opposition. And a fine kick from Steve Hampson there. Good applause from the crowd. Good way, taking it very, very quickly and hitting that short side. Andrew Goodway, of course, former Oldham player. He knows this ground well. So the halfbacks combining and looking for players. Hampson comes in the line to put Dean Bell away. Good change of pace as he beats Cogger. But too many Oldham coverers there. Now Wigan swinging it wide. As Gregory dummies to Andy Goodway. And the ball goes loose and it's play on, says the referee. Well, here's a chance on the right-hand side. Steve Hampson trying to find some space and shrugs off Paul Round's tackle. So on the last tackle now. And Nicky Kiss making a great. But that was the last tackle, and I think most of the Wigan players thought that had been played on by Oldham, but John Holdsworth had indicated the tackle before that 5 had gone. So Oldham having to cover desperate there as Wigan almost came in for that 3rd try. Ford trying to prompt his forwards, but nobody really able to penetrate this strong Wigan defence. Duncan Platt, deceptively quick, this big fullback. The forward pass, says John Holdsworth again. Certainly Duncan Platt's intrusion into the line then, causing a little bit of havoc there as Mike Ford put him away. But the pass was ruled forward, and a respite for Wigan. That's a messy ball, it's come back, but Gregory so strong and quick. Bouncing on that ball before Ian Bates. Beautiful play there as Tony Arrow stretches his legs on that side. He's got support inside for Sean Edwards. This will be Edwards' 2nd try. Beautiful play from Wigan. And Andrew Goodway set it in motion with that beautiful break on that right-hand side. Excellent distribution to Tony Ira once more. And instead of the cross kick this time, it was the pass inside as Duncan Platt came across to cover. A beautifully timed pass, excellent support play from Sean Edwards. And Sean goes over for his second try to put Wigan in the lead by 14 points to 0. Duncan Platt. Well, we've just had over 17 minutes play here at Watersheddings. Wigan very much in control, but they'll want to guard against any complacency. Oldham desperate for those 2 points, of course, and they'll keep going to the end. Again, the variation in tactic as Hanley goes through. Beautiful pick-up from Ellery Hanley there. The variation of tactic, they're saying, from Andrew Gregory. And there's his half-back partner, Sean Edwards, doing the same. And again getting it. Oh, what a marvellous pick-up. Sean Edwards will score his hat-trick. A beautiful try from Sean Edwards. It was a variation in tactic as first Andrew Gregory chipped over for Ellery Hanley to take. And from that play the ball, Sean Edwards did exactly the same. He beat Duncan Platt to the pickup and stretched past him with a beautiful sidestep on that left-hand side. Scoring in the corner, his hat-trick of tries in just 18 minutes play. And Gregory lines it up. That looks a good kick. That's better. That's over. What a wonderful kick from the scrum half. That puts Wigan in the lead by 20 points. So the change on the Oldham side is we've taken both their props off, Neil Clawson and Ian Sherratt, and brought on Trevor Croston and Paul Round. Certainly that will add more pace to the side, but defensively close to the play the ball, and certainly they're going to lose the power. But coach Tony Barrow, obviously a very worried man at 20 points down, and really there's only been one side in it. Beautiful interplay here between Dean Bell and Sean Edwards. But that final pass going astray, and Ian Potter and then Dean Bell having to get down onto that loose ball. Oh, a beautiful ball from Andrew Goodway, but no, Sir John Holdsworth once again. A forward pass, that was putting Dennis Betts into the gap. It certainly could have led perhaps even to another Wigan try. But at the moment this Oldham defence a little bit like a sieve, particularly wide out. So Oldham attacking in the Wigan 22. And there's substitute Trevor Croston, who's just come on the field. Well, Oldham have the numbers on that far side, and there is Paul Round in the gap. That could be a try. No, a great cover tackle from Dennis Betts. Marvellous play from the second row forward. Still an overlap on that side. Could it be a try? It is indeed. A try on the left wing there for Steve Robinson. There was a build-up of pressure as Paul Round went through, only been tackled by Dennis Betts. And from that play the ball, it was moved out to that left-hand side. And Steve Robinson just squeezing over in the corner from that pass of Gary Hydes. Well, a difficult kick for Duncan Platt, but he struck it well. It looks good. It is, in fact, a fine kick from the fullback. So that's brought a little bit of heart back to this Oldham side, but Wigan in the lead by 20 points to 6. Paul Lord gathers safely and tries to run past Andrew Goodway, but good defence from the loose forward. And Round again showing enterprise. He's only a young player, but he's certainly got some pace. He's played at Oldham for the last 2 seasons and played at number 6 or in the centre, but now seems content to be on the wing. And Mike Ford with the chip through for Oldham, and that's not going to find touch. It finds Steve Hampson instead. But a quick play the ball from Steve Hampson puts Tony Arrow in space. The gap quickly closed. And again, as Oldham recover their defences, the switch of play from the 2 halfbacks. Byrne stepping past Gary Hyde there, but good cover from Paul Round. No slouch himself, of course, the former St Helens second row forward.
Don't lay off him! Don't lay off him!
The referee has decided to
Stop there, we stop.
award the knock forward. We have a substitution on the far side. It's Sean Edwards who's going to come off the field, and Andy Platt who's going to come on. It probably would mean that Dennis Betts is going to come out of the pack. In fact, it's Andrew Goodway who's going to go into the centre, and Ellery Hanley will play at 6.
Go with him.
Well, Andy Platt getting his first taste of action there as his second row opponent Keith Newton bounced into him. And there's Round in the gap again, and offloading, but this time gone back to Steve Robinson, so he has to recover. Good play from Oldham. They've found 1 or 2 gaps here and there, but referee John Holsworth's not happy about something, and he's calling Ellery Hanley across. And obviously it was an obstruction off the ball, so the penalty will go to Oldham. And John Cogger, who's captaining the side, is indicating that he's going to kick for goal, so he's going to call up Duncan Platt. Duncan Platt lines it up. It certainly looks sweet again. It's a beautiful kick from the fullback. It's 20 points to 8, and Oldham just getting a little bit of confidence coming back into the game now. Not 10, says John Holsworth. It must have been fractional. Andrew Gregory accepting it though. It certainly was touch and go. The scrum half acknowledging the fact there as he walks past John Holsworth, but that was certainly touch and go, almost 10. The penalty to Oldham. Duncan Platt found a safe touch on that left-hand side. So the set move, and certainly Oldham will want to move the ball wide now. They haven't got the power up front, having lost their 2 front row forwards. There's Trevor Croston, who's having to step into the breach for distributing and finding the gaps, as long as people will run off him. And there's Bates, but Nicky Kiss in a position there to bring off the tackle. Well, no brotherly love there as Andy Platt and Duncan collided with one another, but there another example of the attacking spirit that Oldham have managed to conjure up in the last 5 minutes. So the scrimmage forms, and Andy Gregory feeds, but again a free kick. He's not happy with the Wigan front row. So this must be causing some concern, because that's 3 free kicks that Wigan have conceded this half. And Oldham building up some pressure.
I wonder which way it's going.
So Oldham have had the 2 drives. Now the ball is called for wide out. The 2 half-backs shouting for that ball. And certainly plenty of gaps out there. As Paul Round again steps into space and plays it to himself. And almost gets over. Only good, strong Wigan defence are keeping him out. So Ruane kicking through. Will he go for the try? It is indeed. Another try for Oldham. Andy Ruane from acting halfback with that astute left foot of his, just a little bit of a chip through, and he's ferreted over there to dive on the ball before he went dead. So Duncan Platt could land the other 2 points. Yeah! He does indeed. So Oldham fighting back at 20 points to 14. Gregory tries the deep kick this time, not risking the short one. So perhaps Wigan a little bit complacent, and certainly giving away perhaps too much possession in the last quarter of an hour. Too many free kicks conceded. There's an example of another one, and that's only going to be good for Oldham's confidence. With about 8 minutes left before half-time, a little bit of a reprieve there for Wigan as that ball goes forward.
Oh, come on, ref. They've gained about 3 yards there already.
Andy Gregory feeds, and the set move there with Ellery Hanley and Dean Bell puts Steve Hampson in the gap. Good cover there from Gary Hyde. But Wigan in a good situation again now. Gregory takes the ball. No, he doesn't. It's gone backwards, says the referee. Play on the second tackle now. Big Adrian Shelford hitting it up, taking the tacklers with him. Now, Dean Bell and Andy Gregory setting up some play there. Almost an interception. And that may well be back to one, but the referee hasn't indicated it. Gregory dummies and tries to offload. But Oldham moving in on the tackler very quickly. And they get the possession. Ellery Hanley just jogging back there, injured. Let's hope that's not too serious. But Rain again, the try scorer, putting that trusty left boot up that left-hand touchline and pushing Oldham forwards and Wigan backwards. Oh, a tidier scrimmage, and Gregory takes that ball at the back. But that's a penalty. Poor round coming round from that scrimmage and using the forearm on Andy Gregory's head. Result a penalty, but doesn't look as if there's too much damage to Andrew Gregory. And Wigan moving it wide from that penalty to the middle of the field, and the switch of play to that short side. Sampson comes in, pressure from Gary Hyde there as Sampson was going to pass that ball to Tony Iro. And certainly there's been a resurgence with Oldham over this last quarter of an hour. They're much keener in their tackling, they're finding the gaps wide out, and they're really giving Wigan a test now. Well, that came out on that side, and it's a free kick, says John Holdsworth, for handling the ball in the scrum. Quite clear what that was for, and quite clear what that one was for, so things not quite going right for Wigan at the moment. I'm sure Coach Graham Lowe will say a few things at half-time. There's 5 minutes left, and Wigan really need to hang on to this lead till half-time. And that'll help them a great deal as Nicky Kiss has stolen that ball. Offside. John Holsworth wants to keep these two sides apart, and Mike Ford just pinching the inches there. So can Wigan, as they so often do, just get a try at that vital time, just before half-time? Two straight drives, one from Shelford and then Lucas. Now the set move on as Andy Gregory calls the tune. Switching play to Ellery Hanley. Ellery keeping the play alive, but that's a long ball which Paul Lord may well get to first. He does indeed. Great cover from Andrew Goodway, and Hampson recovers well.
He was tricked.
Goodway showing the strength and fitness required over back row forward, but there, running across field. And Tony Arrow bursting through. Shelford looking to offload, so certainly they play fast and furious, end-to-end stuff here. Whereas after a quarter of an hour we didn't think we had a game, just a one-sided affair. It's Oldham who've come back, and now Wigan having to play with much more skill and much more determination, and there's one man who's made a difference, Paul Round, who's burst through this Wigan defence on 2 or 3 occasions. Good tackling from Adrian Shelford there. Duncan Platt tackled by Andy Platt. Cogger, who's all action, pushing through. And Hampson collects well. Skillful play from the fullback. Well, Hanley finding space and finding Gerard Byrne. Oh, great Wigan play here. Hanley supporting again. That could be forward. It is indeed. But marvellous Wigan play again on that right wing, involving Ellery Hanley and Tony Iro. But the final pass going forward and the chance gone. So in the last minute of play here, as Oldham win possession from that scrum. And they'll want to keep the play moving and keep it wide. And the way the game has gone, it's going to be a survival of the fittest as well, because there's certainly been all action this 40 minutes. Plenty of work for the defences and plenty of running and recovering. Ruane with his right foot this time. Only finds Steve Hampson. So Andrew Gregory calling the tune out, so we're going to have another drive.
Yeah, look at that, man.
And Shelford is going to take it, hits it close to the ruck. Now the move is on. But Bates very quickly up there on his opposite number, and the move was snuffed out. Well, the frustration there as Andy Platt a little bit flat on that inside pass from Ellery Hanley. There's been a short time added on for injuries in this first half. We're now over 40 minutes, but again, an indiscretion by Wigan as we approach half-time. And John Cogger indicating that Duncan Platt will go for goal. Duncan Platt, that left foot, it looks good, he's pulled it, that's taken by Dennis Betts, who keeps it in play. And as he's tackled on this left-hand side, the hooter goes for an amazing first half. Wigan going leading by those 6 points at 20 points to 14. But the first 20 minutes belonged entirely to Wigan, with Sean Edwards getting those 3 tries. And the second part of the first half belonging to Oldham. And they've come back with 2 sparkling tries and 3 tremendous Duncan Platt goals. This promises to be an excellent second half. Jeff Hurst there, the assistant coach and one-time commentator, as John Holsworth sets the second half in motion. And that's a fine kick which has beaten Andrew Gregory. It would have beaten most people the way that ball shot up in the air. So right from the start of this second half, Wigan penned back on their own line. So we shall wait and see if there's any sort of change in tactic or change in method out there on the Wigan side. But Oldham in a good position at the moment. They've certainly been moving that ball wide. And there's Michael Ford putting in a penetrating kick there. It's found touch, just 10 metres short of the Wigan goal line. Well, that seems to have satisfied Mr. Holsworth. Certainly in the first half, a lot of problems in that front row. Well, a great offload from Adrian Shelford there. And the ball being kept alive, but Oldham have got possession. So Oldham starting the second half where they left off, with some adventurous play, and just inside the Wigan 22 as Andy Platt puts pressure. But it's not back to one, and Steve Robinson takes the ball in himself. So we've had 3 tackles. As Oldham move it wide on the right-hand side, but short of a few runners. Ford in position again, but this time it's Ruane with his right foot. Another good touch from the hooker. Well, as he did in the cup game, it's Andy Ruane punching that ball upfield, little grubber kicks. And of course, very effective in the first half with that grub kick close to the line when he pounced on the ball to score. A much more settled scrummage there. Wigan keeping it fairly tight, and Hampson coming in for the kick. If anything, the wind slightly with Oldham, although Wigan have the slope. Duncan Platt, who's had two very good games against Wigan, certainly outstanding in that cup game.
Oh, come on, Oldham, spread out. Don't stand on his shoulder.
John Cogger, who's very quickly up onto his feet after the tackle. But no way forward there, certainly with pulling Ian Sherratt and Neil Clawson off the field. They've lost the power close in, but they've got the play wide out, and as Hanley covers across, then that kick from Mike Ford, and also finds some space. But Dean Bell, well tackled by Steve Robinson there, unable to get Tony Arrow away on this right wing.
Offside now, lads.
Adrian Shelford drifting across the field and trying to offload, but this time he keeps the ball.
Well in Oldham.
So Wigan on the last tackle now. Hampson in position for the kick at the back. But Andy Platt getting in the way there. The ball knocked on, so it's going to be a handover. And we've had 5 minutes play in this second half. It's virtually been all around the 22-metre area. Oldham in possession.
Oh, come on, Fordy.
Compton really getting through then. Now the ball will move wide, and this is where Oldham were dangerous at the end of that first half. Now wide again and round in space there, but that's been taken forward by Sean Allen. Cogger prompting and probing and jinking his way and putting Gary Hyde in space there. John Henderson just held close, but that's going to be a try for Paul Lord. It started when John Cogger put John Henderson through. The overlap was on that right-hand side. Good handling by Oldham. And right winger Paul Lord going in and then making an extra 10 yards towards the post to see if Duncan Platt can get the conversion. Well, this kick would level the scores. And Round has been kicking well. It looks good. It is over. That makes the scores 20 points each. What an amazing game we're having. So we're going to have it all to do. The score's level. And Oldham really roused by those three splendid tries. Burnt going high and Newton bursting through that tackle.
Give him off.
Oh, come on, Fordy. Want to go, boys?
Duncan Platt with that left foot kick. Steve Hampson takes it well. Tries to go through Steve Robinson. Good tackling there though from Gary Hyde.
Come on, Greg, do a bit of running, the man walking. Snap him, snap him.
Gregory finding the gap and looking for runners. Dennis Betts taking that ball, standing still, having to make the best of it, but the Oldham defence moving up quickly on that far side. Gerard Byrne with the left foot, pushing it into touch. So Wigan at least getting their kick in on the last tackle. That's going to be a scrum down. So this time it's scrum half Ian Bates who comes in for some treatment from John Holdsworth. The first half it was certainly Wigan who conceded those free kicks, but now one conceded by Ian Bates for feeding, and that gives Wigan a chance now to build up some pressure for the first time in the second half on this Oldham team. Just coming up to 10 minutes play now, and the tap penalty as Lucas hits it up on that short side. Good strong drive for the number 8. Shelford takes the second one, but takes it standing still. And the Oldham defence moving up very quickly and pinning the big man back. Now they're playing the centre of the field, so Wigan have the option as Byrne comes in. And the switch there as Dean Bell goes back, but Mike Ford wins the chase for the ball. Well, certainly Wigan's play lacking that crispness, as Oldham's play enthusiastic. As Ruane kicks downfield, and that's the chase for Hampson. Good running from the Wigan fullback. Plays the ball to himself and drives forward again. And that's a good 30 yards gain by Steve Hampson. The importer takes it on, pushing Oldham back. Gregory spotting the gap. Beautiful play from the scrum half. Nicky Kiss in support, but unable to offload once more. So Wigan, for the first time perhaps, showing that keenness and that speed. Oh, that's an interception from Mike Ford. Can he beat Steve Hampson? The answer is no. Hampson brings off a fine tackle, but Oldham in a great position. Wigan desperately getting back. Round hitting the gap, but finding Ellery Handley closing it down. The overlap was on that right hand side. So Oldham back in position, attacking now inside Wigan 22. And Cogger, who set up the motion for that last try, doing exactly the same again, making good yardage forward. On the last tackle, the drop attempt, that's over. Andy Ruane, the hooker, coolly picking his spot with that left-footed drop kick, has put Oldham into the lead by 21 points to 20. Andy Gregory puts a long, low kick in. Mike Ford, who took that interception and set Oldham up in the Wigan 22, which resulted in the eventual drop goal from Andy Ruane. Play fairly static here. We could well come in from the kick, and here's the man who's been doing a lot of the kicking. That's their hooker, Andy Ruane, and that's the testing one for Steve Hampson. He's managed to keep that in play though. He's got Tony Iro in support. But that's the way Oldham have been playing, with tremendous enthusiasm, and 4 people in the tackle then on the big New Zealand winger. Good play from Nicky Kiss, and Dean Bell in space. A finely timed tackle there though from Duncan Platt. Wigan trying to find space, trying to find the gaps to push those forwards through. But the referee, I think, is going to stop the game. We have an interloper on the pitch on the far side of the four-legged variety. And as the dog wanders off on the far touchline, substitution then as the referee starts the game off. We've got Sean Edwards back on at 6 and Andy Platt gone off the field again.
Fifth and last.
Well, Sean Edwards, who went off the field having scored those 3 tries in the first 20 minutes of play, now back on the field and already organising and prompting. So Ruane again pushing that ball up the touchline. Steve Hampson in superb position. Paul Lord bringing off a good tackle. Well, certainly the inclusion of Edwards back in the side will take a little bit of the pressure off Andrew Gregory, and he'll be able to take those balls wide out as Wigan keep the ball alive. Good play, Tony Iro on this right wing. Oh, this is going to be a great try for Tony Iro. The value of having a 6'4", 15-stone winger was shown there. Wigan had kept that ball alive on this right-hand side. Tony Iro took it with 2 men to beat. And showing the strength and power of a great winger, he shrugs off those tacklers and scores superbly on that right-hand side. A difficult kick for Andy Gregory, but he's kicked that one well. What a beautiful kick. Superb conversion from the scrum half. That gives Wigan that 5-point cushion with 20 minutes left for play. Well, that's gone dead. The ball beating Steve Hampson there. Fine kick-off from Duncan Platt. So certainly Oldham not giving up on this game by any means. Well, as Duncan Platt takes that ball high, the sun casting shadows here, a most perfect Easter Monday day. Probably as good a day as we've had all season. And in patches, some of the rugby had been superb, particularly that first quarter of an hour. And Wigan perhaps just about getting back into it now, having been revitalised. There, almost Gerard Byrne getting in. But that ball's gone forward, says John Holdsworth. So it's going to be a scrum down and a chance for Oldham possession. Seems to come out on the Wigan side, although the referee not happy with the fact that the scrum has gone right round. Oldham win that one, and Bates recovers well as Duncan Platt tries to burst through Sean Edwards' tackle. And certainly Mike Ford not going forwards there with that Dennis Betts tackle. But Ruane again, but only on the second tackle, pushing that ball upfield. Perhaps Oldham may have been better to have kept possession. So close to that Wigan 22. Well, the scrums this half certainly been much better, and that one, a well-won ball for Wigan. Steve Hampson just content to clear the lines. Good play from Andrew Goodway has put Tony Arrow in the clear, and Arrow going for the ball, but Paul Round getting across, and he's no slouch. Shelford way high, and Round pushes him off, and Nicky Kiss has to finish it off himself. So Oldham back where they were for the first 10 minutes of this half, on that Wigan 22 and pushing forward. So the set move as Ford tries to switch play with that kick, but that's been charged down, and it looks as if Wigan have won possession. Dean Bell very quickly on that loose ball. Elder Hanley, who's seen little of his second half. Paul Round brings off a version of the Cumberland hoik on Gerard Byrne. Referee says it's perfectly legal. Then he spets in space, almost stretching through and finding Andrew Gregory. This is fine Wigan play. Has Dean Bell got the legs to score? Good cover from Duncan Platt. Good Wigan play on that left-hand side. Now on the last tackle. Edwards looking for the gap and pumping a high ball in the air. It's come backwards. John Cogger in position. Play on, says the referee. Ford again offloading and finding Paul Round. Touch judge is coming onto the field. It certainly was an attempted high tackle by Ian Lucas. Ian Lucas it is who's being spoken to by John Holsworth. So the penalty going to Oldham. And we've just got quarter of an hour left for play here. That 5-point cushion at 26-21 in Wigan's favour. Oldham then going to build up with a set move as Bates and Mike Ford, the two half-backs, use two foils there and trying to bring Duncan Platt in, but he only going at half pace. Cogger trying to find a gap close to that play no more. Wigan defence now at full stretch, on full alert. And again Round in space, but Byrne just getting hold of him with that one hand. This time the runner's not coming right for Mike Ford, and we're on the last tackle. Ruane with the high kick. Hampson misses it. Edwards gets back to cover. The ball goes dead. Drop out under the posts. Pressure again for Wigan there from that very dangerous kick from Andy Ruane.
Come on, Randy! Your ball, Robbie, here!
Steve Hampson with the drop out into the wind, and that's easily taken by Steve Robinson. So back again come Oldham, putting pressure on Wigan inside their own 22. Oldham calling for that ball wide out. The two half-backs combining, and again Keith Newton coming in off Mike Ford. So Wigan keeping it alive and testing this defence. Duncan Platt in space. Great ball out to Paul Lord. The referee has indicated a forward pass though. As Paul Lord goes round under the post, quite clearly the referee had indicated that that pass was forward. The Oldham players shake their heads in disbelief. But there was no doubt in John Hoseworth's mind. And Wigan have a let-off. Now Hanley in space onto Byrne. The big man comes down this wing, but again Duncan Platt coming across, puts in a beautiful tackle on Tony Iro. Adventurous play from Wigan, but they've lost possession. And to be scrum half Ian Bates to put that ball in for Oldham. As expected, Oldham win possession. Well, this time no way forward for Duncan Platt. So can Oldham inspire themselves to get over that line, or can Wigan defend as they've done so many times in the past? Well, certainly that was good defence. Ian Lucas and Nicky Kiss there, making sure that Sean Allen didn't move any further forward. And Andy Gregory's knocked that down, and the ball's gone loose, and it's Gregory picking it up. But can't offload, and does well to hang on there. But Wigan have possession. And Shelford finding space. The big man's motoring. And offloading to Hanley. Elroy Hanley offloading to Dennis Betts. But Oldham have recovered in defence. Now then, which side has put the effort in? It's certainly going to be a lot of effort to come. As Wigan on the last tackle have possession just 10-15 yards out. Gregory with the drop kick. Is that the difference? It's over. It is. That brings back the 6-point cushion at 27-21. So the two subs coming onto the field. Both props, Ian Lucas and Adrian Shelford coming off. Brian Case and Andy Platt come back onto the field. They'll probably go straight into the front row. So Duncan Platt tries the small kick for Paul Lord, but Gerard Byrne quickly gathers it and almost gets away on that left-hand side. So in the last 10 minutes of play here, as Brian Case gets his first touch of the ball. Well, Steve Hampson in the gap there, but the dummy by Gerard Byrne. Good burst from Andrew Goodway there, and Ian Potter supporting well from the back. Gregory finding space and not offloading, but that was the last tackle, so that's going to be a handover.
Come on, Gregory! Come on, Oldham! Come on!
Oldham looking a little bit tired at the moment. They're bunching close to this play of the ball. Perhaps the pressure's been too much for them, and certainly one person with fitness, Mike Ford, and John Cogger, who's an action man, and offloading there, but that ball has gone through and has gone forward. On Saturday at Main Road, it's certainly seen that Wigan's fitness had paid dividends, and perhaps that wealth of fitness deep down is keeping them in this game today. There is lost possession from the scrum. Flat in space, and beating Hampson's tackle. Gary Hyde trying to get past Jerry Byrne. Oldham back in the driving seat, back attacking again. There's an overlap on that right-hand side. But Andy Goodway in the right place at the right time. A great tackle from him. Round, who's looked so dangerous that time. Great stop in the tackle. But he picked it up himself. Wigan on their own line, defending desperately, keeping that 6-point cushion. Cogger going for it. Inches short. On the last tackle now. The set move, Round kicks through, but this time no way forward. And Ian Potter, who had trials for Liverpool as a goalkeeper, beautifully picked that one up. So Ian Potter refreshed after the Keith Mills sponge. Back to full fitness. Dean Bell making the yardage and making the break. So on 4 tackles, and Nicky Kiss taking it away himself, driving almost to the halfway line. We're on the last tackle now, and we're in the last 5 minutes of this game. As Gregory dummies left and puts the high kick for Steve Robinson, but he takes the ball well as the Oldham left wing. But Andy Goodway and Brian Case up quickly in that defensive line.
Get outside!
Mike Ford looking for runners, but nobody coming. Perhaps Oldham now struggling a little bit for fitness.
Offside, Wigan.
Well, young Ian Bates knocking that ball on, a relief for Wigan.
Get out! Oh, come on!
Referee not happy about that. This time a free kick against Nicky Kiss. It's got to be Andy Ruane to put that ball in a touch. He may well have missed it as Dean Bell goes back and takes it well. And gets past Paul Lord. And makes ground up that left wing. Fine take from the New Zealander. Good piece of skillful play. The ball was high up into the sun there, but he took it superbly and also made good ground. But Wigan back in possession. Oldham perhaps reflecting on a sad miss there as Ruane failed to ground that ball to touch. The ball knocked forward as Mike Ford tried to go for the interception once again. Dennis Betts running into the gap. So with just 3 minutes of actual playing time left, plus a little bit of injury time. The ball won at the scrum. Wigan need to keep possession. Hanley switches the play. Again, Dean Bell showing pace off the mark there, getting involved with the play. And Ian Potter driving another good 5 yards forward, but the ball has been lost and it's gone forward, said the referee, so it's going to be a scrum down with Oldham feed, and perhaps Oldham's last chance of salvaging something from this game. That's bounced back Wigan side. Gregory sensibly holding on to possession and not risking the inside ball. So Wigan in possession in Oldham's half. That's where they want to be. Andrew Goodway hanging on to that ball. Gregory, who looks full of running at the end of this game, dodging and weaving his way there, but Cogger just manages to keep hold of him. So the Oldham crowd somewhat subdued now. We're on the last tackle. The kick will come from one of the two halfbacks. Edward it is who has the ball. He puts the high one up, but that may well have gone too far. In fact, it's come back and Brian Case bounces on it. It's gone forward, says the referee. So although it was played by Paul Lord, and Brian Case went down on the ball, it went forward. Ian Bates feeding that scrummage and Oldham winning it once again. Drifting away from Steve Hampson, stretching those big legs out. The support is there. Dean Bell has to cover. That's going to be a penalty for Oldham. And another chance for them to salvage at least a point. We're now into injury time in this game. The drive forward. Oldham really pressing. Back forward and acting half-back. Cogger trying to get some action going, but Wigan moving up quickly in defence. Danger man Paul Round out there, has to step back inside, but they keep the ball alive. Dean Bell has to make a heroic tackle coming in from that left wing. Oldham desperate for these points, they really want to get over the line. Play restarts, Oldham move it wide. The inside ball, that's a high tackle. That's another penalty to Oldham. They'll either want to take the quick tap. They do indeed. John Cogger, the captain, sets it in motion. Is that another high tackle? In fact, it is. It's Andrew Goodway who's been sent from the field by the looks of it. It's a 10-minute sin bin. That is neither here nor there as we come to the end of the game. We've had 2.5 minutes of extra time added on. The penalty's taken. It could be the last one. The drive is there. The hooter hasn't gone yet. Everybody's expecting it any second. Oldham work out a complicated move. The tackle is made, the ball is offloaded again. Oldham ever so close. Wigan desperately hanging on. Has that ball gone loose? It's gone forward, it's got to be a scrum. We've almost played 3.5 minutes of extra time here. Oldham are going to feed the scrummage. It's all short on that blind side. Mike Ford hasn't got the pace or strength to go over though. The crowd on their feet, most of the Wigan supporters behind that goal line, behind their Wigan favourites. As Oldham move it wide, Paul Round tries to offload. No way forward. Coming up to 4 minutes of extra time. Hanley and Platt in on the tackle. Out to Robinson. Robinson tackles short. Wigan defending well. Oldham try all they've got to score. Ruane tries the little kick through. It's all taken by Andy Platt. That surely was Oldham's last chance. Wigan in possession now. All they need to do is to go through the 6. That's the second one. Dennis Betts will take it up and hang on to it. A strange hush now about the crowd after all that excitement. Nicky Kiss takes it away from acting halfback. John Holdsworth wanting them to get on with the game. Andy Gregory takes it himself and finds a gap, but keeps possession. That was Gary Hyde and that was Andy Gregory. The hooter has gone, the referee hasn't heard it. He's saying play on. A Paul Round picks it up in space and kicks through himself, but that should be a gift for Dean Bell. It is indeed. Dean Bell has the ball, takes the tackle. The hooter has gone. Wigan have won a most amazing game here, the Watersheddings. It's perhaps put a nail in Oldham's coffin as far as the second division is concerned. But the 2 points have been earned and won by Wigan today with a final score of 27-21. Well, we spoke to Sean Edwards before the game, and certainly one of the heroes of today's victory was Sean himself, who scored